One prompt and you got a working fitness app. The checkboxes drive the progress bar, the filters work, the form validates. So AI can clearly design an app. The real question is whether it is a real app. Let me show you how to use Claude Design and exactly where it stops. Hi, I'm Vika and let's dive into Claude Design right away. So here is the whole interface and it's not just a chat box. So before you even type anything here, you have custom features to select. So you can select design system, you can select none, you can select from the built-in options, you can create your own design system, for example, this one I created. Then you have selection of templates. So depending on the type of your project, you can select the one that is closest to what you are going to build. There are 13 templates since the recent update, really handy. Also, these templates are shown here and they will be selected as well, similarly to what you'll be selecting here. So this is just duplicate. Okay, then you can select a model. I'm working on Opus and I'm working on the max effort, but you can select anything you like and test it out. Also, you can start from the existing code and improve it in Claude Design. Here as well, you have option to attach any file, reference another project, connect code, upload your design Figma file, etc. So there are different options to set your prompt, and we'll be building a mobile app, so I'll choose it right away. And also, if you didn't input any prompt here and just select a template and click go, you'll have this context view. Chat on the left, you have like start from design system screenshot or Figma file, and working area on the right. Just a different view for a similar chat. Let's go back and start with our prompt. So for creating a prompt, I used Anthropic's own guidelines and created a prompt from 4 parts: goal, layout, content, and audience. I used this approach to create a prompt for a fitness app called Pulse. Input it into the Claude Design, selected mobile app design template, our Opus model, and let it run. And the next thing that Claude Design did, it interviewed me. I said fully clickable prototype, every interaction on, calm tone, pounds. And this is what one prompt returned. 4 screens, consistent and genuinely interactive. So we've got the result from our one prompt. Let's try to edit it and review all the tools that we have here. So first of all, we have a tweaks panel, which defines our start screen. Then we can turn off animation of this screen. I think that's it. And then weekly goal, we could change it. Like we have 5, let's say 7. Here it is. So we have several options to edit our design. We can comment, here it is, and we can edit. Comment is pretty obvious and simple. You can click on comment, then you can click on any element and add comment there. So you write your comment and you set it to Claude, or you can drag and draw something, like for example, and then you add a note to your drawing and send it to Claude. All edits of this kind will be achieved through direct AI request, and you'll see them in the chat. So here, for example, we have comment. If we had like any previous comments, they will be here. And then we can click back to chat, and here's our chat here, and all the comments were discarded. Then there is more direct approach of editing, which is edit mode. Inside the edit mode, you have 4 tabs. You have simple, pro, code, and tweaks. So tweaks is basically the panels that we already seen, so I won't be diving into it further. Let's go to the simple. You can choose any element and you'll have all the instruments to edit it. So it's quite similar to instruments that are available in Figma, and there is even expert selection for the elements that you selected. If we go to a pro mode, this gives us more code-based view with the same edit panel. So you'll basically have more tools. And then when we go to the code directly, you can just edit via direct code writing. So out of the box, not all screens were connected perfectly. For example, if I start workout and checked all the checkboxes, it didn't count into the weekly goal, but I asked it in the chat to add this feature and it was added like easy peasy right away. There is a validation in the form, there is a workouts list, there is a filter which works really nicely. But the one thing to mention that this is still a prototype, so it computes the number, but it doesn't build a real data model. For example, if we finish this workout, it doesn't mark in any kind of way. And then if we want to make it again today, for example. The only things we can do is uncheck all the buttons, but check them again. But if you uncheck, it will be deducted from the main goal count. So don't expect a polished UX and all the right data connections. That's on you to say to the Claude. But these are just 4 screens with some interactions. And what if I want a real app with login, database logic, and tracking all this information about workouts inside account? I asked it Claude Design right away. I asked for real accounts, sign up, login, saved on a server, synced across devices. And this is the best moment in this test. Claude Design stopped me right away. In its own words, it makes front-end prototypes that run in the browser. No server, no database. For the real things, it hands you a developer package. The tool itself is telling you this is just a front end. On the other hand, it's suggested to build a front-end part of login and sign up, and that's what I did. There is a login screen, there is a sign up with all the validations like enter your name and then the login. No account found, and we need to use a demo to log in. And then there is this menu for a logout. Okay, so we figure out the limits of Claude Design app development. Last question, and the one that designers really care about. Forget the shipping, can I take design out? So I asked it to turn the app into a real design system. So here's what I've got. It built a 21 color tokens, spacing grid, radius and type scales, and 2 real components with proper variants. The one thing to notice if you want to edit this design system, if we go to the edit mode and we, for example, select colors, it shows us the markup. And if we select workout card, it's sending us to edit a workout card, which is a separate element on a separate canvas. If I say one discard changes, we have it here inside our canvases for this project. We have Pulse, this is our original app. Then we have a design system file, and then we have 2 components, which is one exercise row and the other one is workout card. We can tweak these components with the tweak panel right away. We can adjust the difficulty, etc. We can adjust icon type, all the jazz. So what we can actually do in our application, here we have it, the options to share that we have. We can publish as an artifact, we can hand it to a Claude Code and use it to make this an actual application. We can download in PDF or HTML project. We can try to convert it to PowerPoint. This would be a struggle, I'll tell you right away. Then we have other options. For example, we can export it in PNG. MP4 won't be working, this is not an animation, but PNG is quite handy. You can click it and you can select any elements that you want to export. So if you want to export the whole screen, you just select it and export it into the resolutions that you want. Other options, you can connect more destination, which allows you to connect to this variety of apps and hand your design there. One thing to notice, there is no Figma export. For a designing tool, this is definitely a miss. You can work around with HTML export and different plugins. I have a separate video on this occasion. But even if you go to a design system, the situation is really similar. You can export this stuff anywhere. The best shot to actually use this design system is to export it to code with Claude Code or just a project that you hand to any other AI or a developer. So the bottom line, it looks like a real app, but has no data model and no backend. And it says so itself. It builds a great design system you can only export as code. Every exit points at one person, an engineer. So this is not Figma and it's not a no-code app builder. I would say that this is the fastest bridge I have used from an idea to something a developer can actually build. So use it for that. Do not expect a Figma library that you can keep or an app that you ship without an engineer. It's a bridge, not a destination, and it's refreshingly honest about it. I'm Vika, I'm a UX designer, and if you want me to take a build like this to something you can actually ship, the link is in the description. And since you can send your build from Claude Design to Figma, I made a video on the workarounds that actually works. It is right here. See ya!